James Ernest of The Grueling Truth, here with UFC fighter Eryk Anders. Eryk, what have you been up to?
Man, nothing much. Just kind of chilled all day Sunday, flew back home, got some rest. Didn't really do much today, went for a run, and trained a little bit tonight.
Excellent. Do they have a fight scheduled for you so far, or are they in talks with anything?
No, nothing on the books yet, or anything like that. Just got in off the road last night. So, me and my wife are going out to Croatia. Tour around Europe for a little bit next week. So, don't want to plan anything with a trip like that coming up.
Wow, that sounds amazing. How long has that been in the works for?
Man, we had it planned already. And then this fight came up. Thank God it was the week before, so we didn't have to cancel. And it kind of worked out. I just fought twice in the last month, and definitely time for some much-needed vacation.
I've heard rumors that November, the Madison Square Gardens possibility.
That's when I would like to fight. I think it's one of the most prestigious arenas in America, and it'd be pretty cool to fight in there. So that's what I'm trying to do.
I agree with you 100%. I mean, the greatest fighters in the world have fought there. Why not you? I was going to say you could be the next big thing. Exactly. Did you ever consider joining the Air Force as part of your family tradition?
Yeah, whenever I got done playing football, I came back and was trying to weigh some options. Luckily, after I started training, fell in love, and kind of knew that this is what I want to do. So, I instead of joining the military like I had intended to do, I started training and working, like desk jobs behind a computer type thing for a little bit, so that I can train, fight, and make a living. So, luckily I don't have to do that anymore.
Excellent. I was going to say, I know, different sports and all, even though they are colliding in the near future with the McGregor thing. Does it kind of remind you of the movie Creed at all? Because like you said, working a desk job and training to be a fighter, that kind of thing.
Man, you just kind of do what you have to do so you can do what you want to do, sort of thing. Sylvester Stallone was there, Rocky was out there breaking people's thumbs for money and whatnot. Collecting money for he wasn't necessarily working a desk job. I'm just not happy behind the desk. I was bored. It's not entertaining. It's not fun. It's for some people, but it's not for everybody. Not one of those people. It's not for. So, luckily, I was able to find something that I could do, find a passion for.
I read that you had been a big MMA fan prior to becoming a fighter. Who were the ones that you enjoyed watching?
Man, how could you not enjoy watching Anderson Silva? I enjoy watching all the fighters. They all bring a different little, flavor to the equation. And, they all have their different styles, strengths, and weaknesses. It's just cool to see the matchups and those guys get in there and throw down.
What's the influence of Walter Harris on your fighting style?
What influence?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
That's a tough question. I wouldn't say it has an influence. I like his style to stand up and knock somebody out. I like that style. It's fun to play that way. But I wouldn't say that because Walt does it, I do it.
Do you feel that being a southpaw is an advantage or a disadvantage?
It's absolutely an advantage. It's hard to find guys like me and Walt, big guys, strong guys, athletic guys who are also left-handed. So for a training partner, for an opponent, sometimes that can be a nightmare to find someone to kind of mirror that. But for me, I think everybody I fought, except for like two people, are right-handed. So I get looks at right-handed people all the time. So it definitely favors me more than it favors right-handed guys.
How'd your opponent in the last fight? He ended up switching up from regular to southpaw and back. Did you factor that into your strategy going into the fight?
Absolutely. Watching film, we saw that that's something that he did. And when he was in his left-handed stance, the only weapon that he had was his lead hook. So, it was easier to be much looser and commit to punches more when you don't have to worry about one shot in the return versus somebody's whole arsenal. So he kind of played himself by switching back and forth. But whatever.
He had 22 amateur fights, the way I read it, prior to turning pro. Why so many fights?
Well, I got into the sport. I have no background in martial arts. I have JV level experience wrestling in high school, so I needed time to kind of cultivate a skill set and put it all together as one. And I kind of think you're seeing the culmination of that process happening right now.
No, I definitely agree with you. Actually, it baffles me sometimes how very few fights that people will take in the amateur ranks. They'll have 2-3 fights, maybe get a really good knockout win or something and say, oh, I'm ready. When, no, you definitely did the right thing. Like you said, you didn't have the background in fighting. You had been doing football. You had some wrestling background, like you said, in JV, but, in high school and all. But not exactly, the way to transition into a completely new sport other than working your way up, which I think is great. Because there's some of the fighters I've talked to of late have just jumped straight into a major promotion. And maybe early on it might not hurt them, but I think in the long run it's could be risky.
Yeah. So, man, it's definitely just, you definitely got to get that experience and what it is that you're doing and see everything, and any possibility, any, variable that could happen in a fight. You need to see it as an amateur before you get surprised with it.
So when you were an amateur, were they, going after specific styles of fights for you? Like say one fight you were looking for a striker, next fight you were looking for like a submission guy to go against, that kind of thing?
Man, not really. I was just kind of fighting for the experience, Naturally, some guys were better at other things than others, but it's not like I specifically targeted this guy because he was a striker or a jiu-jitsu player or nothing like that. So it was kind of just fought whoever as often as ever,
Do you feel that taking all those fights helped to build your patience and discipline inside the ring?
Yeah, absolutely. To an extent. Like, I did have 22 fights, and I recommend, people having a few fights, but some of my fights were like 2 weeks back to back. So I don't recommend doing them like that.
Yeah, that's just amazing. Like you said, with back-to-back like that. I can't think of any fighters out there that do that kind of thing. I work with a promotion in Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky, and if someone's on one of our cards 1 month, they're usually not on the card the next month. They're usually 2-3 months out. But to do within a matter of weeks, wow, that's impressive.
Yeah, that's bad coaching. So the one gym I was at when I was doing that, after a while I wasn't making any more progress. Everything came to a standstill, and I was, kind of plateaued. So, I had to move on. And where I'm at now, Spartan Fitness, that definitely doesn't happen. And that would never happen. But you gotta go where you gotta do what you gotta do.
Exactly. It's all about building the career, building the knowledge base, and sometimes you have to change things up. Do you feel that the fast, explosive movements in football prepared you for fighting?
Oh, without a shadow of a doubt. Yeah, absolutely. You can teach, I've been doing that since, the age of 7, my whole life. And, some guys, they have good crisp technique, but, they don't have any pop on their punches, or, they're so slow, or whatever the case may be. I just think that you have to tune in and get that physical side as well as the mental side.
In all the games that you won in football, obviously you haven't got to that level in MMA yet. But do you feel that, say, winning a championship in MMA will be as rewarding, if not maybe more so, than the football titles and the accolades in there?
Yeah, probably. I'm not sure, man. I hope that I can tell you one day. That's tough because I've done one, and done the other, so it's tough to give a realistic answer on that one. But once I've done it, I'll let you know.
Excellent. Well, I mean, you have won a title, right? You won the LFA?
Yeah, that was very rewarding and, very gratifying and all, but, the UFC belt is
That's the one, yes.
That's the one we want.
At 9-0, do you feel that makes you a bigger draw for the promoters?
Yes, absolutely. Not only am I 9-0, but the vast majority of my fights have been finishes. So it's not like I'm going out there and edging out decisions and playing it safe and being a boring fighter. I'm going out there and I'm making stuff happen and knocking cats out that I may not necessarily supposed to be.
Exactly. It's 7-2 with your finishes. 6 knockouts, a submission, and 2 decisions. How many times of those have you won, like fight of the night or knockout of the night, that kind of thing?
Man, I'm not sure. We haven't, in the promotions I fought for, I don't think that they've had that kind of stuff. I could be wrong, but I don't recall those ever being rewarded at any of my previous professional sites.
That is a shame. I was going to say, shoot, at least with my organization that I work with, we at least, give you that, like a certificate or a medal or something for it. Obviously, we're not going to give you UFC money, for it, but we at least do something, to acknowledge that. Because, the way I was looking at video of some of your fights, some of those knockouts, I mean, just were unbelievable.
Yeah, absolutely. But, it's whatever. I don't care about that. I care about the win. So.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of them were first-round finishes. Do you go into the fight, just looking for the finish the entire time, or do you feel out your opponent at all first?
Some fights there's an element of patience that's required, like against Rafael. Need a lot of patience to get that finish. In my previous fight against Brendan Allen, I kind of did the same thing to him, but I got too close and tried to rush the finish instead of taking my time and picking them apart. And I think that some progress that I've made just in the last adjustments and tweaks to my game just in the last 3 weeks after that Brendan Allen fight.
Why only one fight with Bellator?
That's on them. They gave me a one-fight deal, and then after I won that fight, there was just no more contact or communication from their end. So, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm in the show now, so.
Exactly. I was going to say you're happy where you are, so why bring up the past? I know what you mean. It just baffles that sometimes, you would think as you're walking out the cage, they'd be like, sign this, for another 3 fights, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So being the last-minute replacement in that UFC bout that you were just in, any concerns being a limited time? Actually, I guess not, because like you said, you've had to go on short notice in the past, so not that it was ideal, but I guess it's probably helped you. So it's probably helped you prepare for being a last-minute replacement, that kind of thing?
I'm sorry, my phone was cutting out.
Oh, sorry, no problem. I was saying that that your experiences that you've had in the past, fighting on such short notice, did that help with the UFC fight, with it being short notice?
Yeah, that was kind of my ticket in. It's like, hey, you can get in, but you got to fight this guy in 10 days. Okay, cool, let's do it. I'm in here.
So, how close to your fighting weight are you with your walk-around weight?
Typically I walk around like 220. But once I add cardio session instead of just training session to the regimen, the weight comes off relatively easy.
So if you got to choose, who would you want to fight next?
into the middleweight division. But my eyes are always on whoever's got the belt. Whoever I gotta get to between now and then, it's whatever. It doesn't matter to me. They're all gonna get the same treatment anyway.
So, any plans on doing the body issue next year after the whole towel incident?
That's what I'm lobbying for, man. If they call me, I'm there.
Definitely. I mean, it's worth a shot. Obviously you're not shy, and the body issue really does help open the doors for a lot of people.
Yeah, I don't know what I have to do to make that happen, but whatever. They may not want me. They said they've seen everything, so forget it.
But nah, you just probably get your people to call ESPN. They're probably pretty reasonable. Let's see. Tell us about your coaches and how they impact your training.
Man, they're awesome. They definitely motivate me. Great training partners. With plethora of knowledge in the room in every aspect of MMA. Whether it be on the feet, against the cage, on the mat, whatever. There's somebody who knows something. Who is very knowledgeable about it, and is very good at dissecting film and picking apart opponents and putting together strategies and all that. And we have the whole 9 yards over here at Spartan Fitness.
So, who's your striking coach?
My head coach is Chris Conley.
And then, which one usually works more the ground with you?
Man, he's the head coach. He does it all. He knows it all.
Okay.
He puts together our practices. But my main training partner are Matt and Jake Elkins, Omar Johnson, Cam Odie, Chef Dansby, and the list goes on and on and on. Billy Joe Bradshaw.
Excellent. Any sponsors that you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, absolutely. EW Motion Therapy, TAP Together Assisting People, of course Spartan Fitness and SBG. Give me 1 second. Make sure I got everybody.
Excellent.
MedHelp, Magic Box Conversation Club, Try One Cryotherapy, VitaFlow, and Geared Up Nutrition.
Excellent. We're going to have to get a NASCAR guy with you, because good lordy, they are crazy good at saying those. But no, I was going to say it's a lot of stuff to remember, but it's always nice to throw their names out there because they love to hear that during the interviews.
Absolutely.
Switching from MMA to football, what was Saban like?
Man, he's an awesome coach, man. Very personable. You can go in there and talk to him about anything, anytime. And he'll cut up with the guys and have a good time. But when it's time to work, it's time to work.
What was the recruitment process like there in Alabama, with you being all the way down in Texas?
Shula recruited me. I really got in because somebody didn't qualify academically, so they had a late scholarship open up, and I guess everybody else in the nation had already committed. So, my high school coach, one of my high school coaches, Chris Roberts, knew the offensive line coach, who was Bob Conley, and they went to a camp at Alabama, and he gave him my tape and watched it, and watched it in front of Mike Shula, and he was pretty much on trial up there, and he essentially won his case, if you will, and they called me. I came on my visit, signed my scholarship on my visit. The rest is kind of history.
Do you feel good, or do you feel that you proved him to be correct, that you were worth of the scholarship?
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely capitalized on my opportunity, and made it happen.
Do former teammates keep in touch, or send tweet or Facebook you about your MMA success?
Oh yeah, for sure. Mark Ingram, O.J. Howard, Alphonse Taylor, and a bunch of guys. Kareem Jackson, they all tweeted out to me, showing a lot of love.
What was your time like up in Cleveland?
I wasn't there long. I got cut in minicamp, so I went up there too long.
So you didn't have to put up with the crazy cold winter, at least. That's good.
Nah, that was a good thing.
Yeah. I was going to say, from being Alabama and Texas, I can imagine cold isn't one of your favorite things.
Yeah, especially that lake effect snow, man. I don't want no part of that.
Did you enjoy the pace of the indoor game?
Man, the indoor game was kind of fun, man. It was all right. It sucks playing defense because it feels so little and, all that good stuff. I didn't enjoy it too much.
Did you get any opportunities to be an offense at all? Running back, tight end, anything like that?
They put me in the fullback to block. I had a couple touchdowns and pancakes and whatnot.
Nice. So that was probably pretty fun, getting to be on the other side. Yeah. And then you did the CFL thing, which same thing with it being kind of such a different game. How was that? Did you enjoy that at all, or was that just so different that,
Man, each game is a little bit different. And, you got the adjustments to make for the rules or whatever. But, it was fun. It was cool.
Yeah, I was going to say, I know which league of the major ones that I am planning on signing eventually is the LFL. That's the best league out there, in my opinion.
Oh, okay.
Have you ever got to see them? Oh, it's LFL. It's Legends Football League. Well, it used to be called the Lingerie Football League. I just want to be on the team. I'm even willing to be the towel boy if it needs to be. It's the chicks in bikinis, basically.
Oh.
Yeah.
The Lingerie Football League.
Yeah, it's still going.
Oh, yeah, I'm tripping. Yeah. I don't think I've ever seen the game, but I went to, man. I've never seen a game or nothing. I know what it is.
Yeah, they can actually bring it pretty good. They hit pretty hard.
I've seen little highlights on YouTube and stuff.
Oh yeah, they're pretty impressive. So I just had to throw out that. So kind of a recap that you did the football thing and had a great career. I mean, possible college football Hall of Fame down the road. And then now you've completely switched over to MMA. Do you ever miss football, or have you just enjoyed MMA so much it's surpassed your love of the game of football?
I love MMA so much more than I like playing football.
What do you feel? Oh, sorry.
No, go for it.
I was going to say, what do you feel the main difference between the two is?
I love the team camaraderie and the stuff that, the friendships that I made while I played football and all that good stuff. And going out there and sharing the field of battle, if you will, with those guys. But I like to, MMA has the same team camaraderie. Like, we're all close-knit family, all the guys I train with, the coach. And, we're all cool. We watch each other's kids and, play with each other's kids and babysit and do all that other good stuff. But when it comes game time, I don't have to worry about anybody missing the tackle or fumbling a football or anything like that. And so I like to have the game in my hands, if you will.
Well, we greatly appreciate you coming on the network, and definitely are looking forward to the next big fight. Hopefully it's before November, but if not, November, like you said, in the Gardens is always a great thing.